Stella 2023 Prelim paper, paper 2. Let's look at question number 1. Question number 1, we have a pie chart showing how much Michael have spent. And part A, how much money did he spend on the book? Now the book is 1/4 of the whole thing because this is a 90 degrees. 90 degrees will be 1/4, which means that everything else will give us 3/4. So to find 3/4 of the total, we will add 38, 12, and 10. So this will give us 60. So for the book, we are looking for 1/4. So to find 1/4 from 3/4, we'll divide by 3. Okay, so it's 60 divided by 3, which is $20. So that's the answer for part A. Next, what percentage of his money was spent on lunch? Now for lunch, it's $10 out of the total. So the total amount of money spent will be, since 1/4 is 20, right? So the total will be 20 times 4. Because the whole thing is 4/4. So since the total is 80, amount spent on lunch is 10. So 10 over 80. We want percentage, so times 100%. This will give us 12.5%. So answer 12.5%. Next, bar graph shows the number of cups of ice cream sold in a shop. So for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we are looking for the average sold each day. Okay, the average across the 4 days. So before that, let's find out what is for each day. So for Monday will be 250. Tuesday is 180. Wednesday 300. And Thursday is 230. To find average, we have to first find the total. So total, we add them up. 250, 180, 300, and 230. This will give us 960. Now, average across the 4 days will be 960 divided by 4. 240 is the average. Question 3. Jimmy gave his mother $1,200 of his salary. He gave 5/8 of the remainder of his salary to his brother and had 1/4 of his salary left. What was Jimmy's salary? Okay, so first he gave, this is his money. First he gave away 1,200 to the mother. So we cut that out first. Then now the remainder, I have to cut into 8 parts. Because we want 5/8 of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is to the brother. And what we have is 3 units left. Now this 3 units left, right, is actually 1/4 of the total salary. So this part here is 1/4 of the total. Now because we have 3 units here, 1/4 means that you are left with 1 unit. Your total is 4 units, right? If you're left with 1 unit, but over here we have 3, then we're going to change this fraction such that the numerator is a 3. So this becomes 3/12. 3/12 means the amount left is 3 units. The total will be 12 units. If the total is 12 units, what is 1,200? Over here, we already have 8 units, so we take 12 units minus 8 units, which is 4 units. And the 1,200 is 4 units. Then we find 1 unit which is 300. What's the question? The question is asking for his salary. His salary means the total. Total is 12 units. So we can just multiply by 12. 12 times 300. $3,600. Question 4. The graph shows the number of toys sold by a shop from March to June. So in which 1 month interval was the percentage increase of toys sold the most? So in your answer, you're supposed to state from which month to which month. Now let's figure out what is for each month. So March itself is 20, April itself is 40, and then we have 50 and 80. So the greatest increase, right? Sorry, we're not looking for the greatest increase. We're looking for the greatest percentage increase. Now, that is different from the greatest increase. I mean, if you look at greatest increase, right? Just look at the graph, we know it's May to June because it increases by 3 bars, more than March to April and April to May, right? But that is not what we're looking for. We're looking for percentage increase. We have to calculate what is the percentage increase for each month's interval. Okay, so this increase here is 20. This increase here is 10. This increase here is 30. According to the formula, right, percentage increase is increase over original times 100%. Okay, we have to use this formula to find what's the percentage increase. Now, so what matters is not just the increase, but also what is this original. Okay, so this fraction here has to be the greatest. Let's look at each of the months. The original for the first increase, right, is 20. Original for second increase is 40. Original for the third increase is 50. So from March to April, percentage increase is 20 over 20 times 100%. And this is actually 100%. Then from April to May, increase is 10. Original is 40. We look at the April's number times 100%. So this is 25%. Then next, May to June, 30 over 50 times 100%. This is 60%. So the percentage increase, right, is actually this one, March to April. Okay, so this is how you calculate the percentage increase. Question 5, a 1 meter wide path cuts across a rectangular field along its length and breadth, forming a path as shown. What is the area of the path? Now it seems like we would not be able to find like curvy lines, right? But we don't need to. We have to just close up this gap here. Close it up and close it up. What you end up with is actually like just a full rectangle. Okay, if you close the gaps, you just end up with a full rectangle. So the area of the path is actually this area of the big rectangle, the original rectangle, and minus it off, minus the area of this closed up rectangle, and you get the path. So the total rectangle, which means the shaded and unshaded part, will be 18 times 8. Then the unshaded, so the parts without the path will be, this will be 17 because it's closed up by 1 meter, and this will be 7. So 17 times 7. So to find the path, it will just be the difference. So answer 25 square meters. Question 6, Mr. Lee had a piece of wire 26 cm long. He used the wire to form a rectangle with length and breadth measuring 2y and 20 cm. Express the length of the remaining wire in terms of y. So the total is 26y. If he used the wire to form a rectangle, length and breadth is 2y and 20 cm respectively. There will be 2 lengths and 2 breadths. So you have to minus them twice. So total 26y minus 2y minus 2y minus 20 minus 20. 26y minus 2y minus 2y, that will give us 22y. Then minus 20 minus 20 is actually minus 40. Okay, it's not 0, it's minus 40. So you take away 20 and then you take away another 20. So answer here, remember to give your answer with units. So you have to use brackets. It's in cm. Part B. Mr. Lee used the remaining wire to make a square. So this is your remaining wire. And if y is 4, what is the length of one side of the square? So this will actually give us the perimeter of the square. Use y equals to 4. 22 times 4, since it's 22y, minus 40. 22 times 4 is 88. 88 minus 40 is 48. This is the perimeter of the square. So the length of one side, we will divide it by 4 because the square has 4 equal sides. So each side is 12 cm. Question 7. Diagram shows 4 identical right-angled isosceles triangles with a quadrant within it. Quadrant has a radius of 7.5 cm. So find the area of the shaded part. Now, to find a circle, it's pretty easy since we already have the radius, right? And we have 4 quadrants. 4 quadrants will combine to give us one full circle. So we can easily find the area of the unshaded parts. So to find the shaded parts, I need to take all the triangles, minus away all the quadrants. So what is the area of the triangles? Now, each triangle, you can cut it into half this way. And what is the base? What is the base and height of each triangle? Now, this is the radius, so this is 7.5. Okay, this is 7.5. Now, this is an over here, right? Because over here, this is half a quadrant, right? And then if I were to like extend the quadrant and extend the triangle to make it like a square, then I give it another half of a quadrant. It's actually the same. This side is the same as this side, okay, which is this side. So this is actually 7.5. So the area of this triangle here area of triangle will be half times 7.5 times 7.5, which is 28.125. Now we have each big triangle has two smaller triangles. So that would be 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 small triangles. So the total area, 28.125 times 7.5 times 7.5, which is 28.125. Now we have 1, 2, each triangle has two triangles. So that would be 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 small triangles. So that would be 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 small triangles. So the total area It will be 8 times of 28.125. This will be 225. Now we find the area of the circle. Pi, which is 3.14, times radius, 176.625. Now what we need to do to find the shaded part is just to minus off from the total area. So 48.375. 48.375 square cm. Question number 8. This is a question that schools like to test. Okay, so whenever you see this question, right, first thing you know, they're going to give you, there's going to be equilateral triangle, there's going to be square. But I mean, of course, check. Okay, so let's read the question. So here it shows a square. Square has all sides the same. And then you have more equal lines. Find angle FGH. Okay, this angle marked out here. Now let's label all the equal sides. This side, this side, this side, and this side. Then they said that EH equals to EF. EH equals to EF equals to EG. So basically all these three lines are equal. Now EG is the same as the side of one square, right? So I can use a single line because the sides are actually all the same. So we actually have isosceles triangles. And you see HF, right? HF is actually the side of AB, which is the same as EG, because EG is also the side of the square. EG is also the same as the side of the square AD. Okay, again, AD is the same as EG, which is the side of the square. AB is the same as HF, because it's the side, HF is the same as the side of the square. So I can also use a single line. So now HEF is actually an equilateral triangle because all the sides are the same. Okay, so we have this is 60 degrees. This is 60 degrees. We have 60 here. Now, angle HEG is actually half of 60 because it has it's been cut into half. So HEG is half of 60. Now look at this isosceles triangle. So to find EGH over here, which is basically half of what we want, EGH is an isosceles triangle. So we take 180 minus 30 divide by 2. Because this here is 30. So you minus 30, then you divide by the two corners, which is 75 degrees. Okay, so to find what you want, just times 2, FGH, angle FGH. (150 degrees). Question 9, speed question. At 8 a.m., Joey traveled from X to Y at a constant speed of 120 km per hour. At the same time, Madeline traveled from Y to X at a constant speed of 90 km per hour. At 9:20 a.m., they were 50 km apart after driving past each other. What is the distance between town X and town Y? Okay, so let's draw it out. This is town X, this is town Y. Joey is traveling from this direction. Okay, here. Joey, 120 km per hour. And then Madeline is on the other side. From the other side, Madeline is 90 km per hour. So they were 50 km apart after driving past each other. Now they're gonna meet, right? So they started at the same time. They're gonna meet, but not in the middle because Joey is faster. So they're gonna meet somewhere towards the right. Then Madeline is gonna meet Joey like here, but we don't want that. We want them to be further apart, like 50 km apart after driving past. Okay. So maybe something like that. This is 50 km. So how long did everything, all of this happen? It's from 8 a.m. to 9:20 a.m. So draw a timeline, 8 a.m. to 9:20 a.m. This will be 1 hour and 20 minutes. 1 hour, 20 minutes, let's change it to just hours, which is 1 1/3 hour. Okay, so in 1 1/3 hour, what happens? We can find the total distance covered by J, and we can also find the total distance covered by M. So this one, distance by J in 1 1/3 hour. Speed times time. Speed is 120, time is 1 1/3. This will give us 160 in km. Next, let's find M. Oops. So this part here, distance by M in 1 1/3 hour. So same thing, speed times time. Speed is 90, time is 1 1/3. So this is 120 km. Now, the distance between X and Y, right, is not the sum of 160 and 120 because there's actually an overlapping part. So what we need to do is to take the yellow one, 160, and then we add this part. How much is this? This is 120 minus 50. Okay, so 120 minus 50, which is 70. So this is 70. So the total distance will be the yellow one plus 70. Yellow one is 160. Then you add 70. Okay, so this is the total distance between town X and town Y. Units km. Question 10. X is a cubical tank of sides 20 cm and Y is a rectangular tank. Base of y, it has dimensions as shown. X was fully filled with water and y was empty. Samuel poured some water into from X into Y without spilling. After that, the heights of the water level of X and Y were the same. So what's the final height of water level in both tanks? Now, first let's find the total volume. X was fully filled and there was nothing in Y. So find the volume of X to get the total volume of water. Since it's a cube, so 20 times 20 times 20. So 8,000. Now we cannot take 8,000 divided by 2, although the heights were the same, but now imagine if your height of X and Y, height as in water level, if the water level of X and Y is the same, right? Does it mean that they have equal volume? No, right? Because the base area of X is actually much smaller than Y. So if they had the same height, water level, Y actually contains a lot more volume than X if the water level is the same. Okay, so we need to take into account the base area. Now what you can do is you write out this. Okay, so we have X, we have Y. We talk about the base area, we talk about water level, which is the height. And then we have volume. Okay, so base area times height equals volume. What is the base area of X? 20 times 20. Then base area of Y will be 60 times 20. Now, if the water level is the same, we'll say that the water level will be 1, 1. Volume is base area times height. Okay, so this is a grouping concept. So this whole thing will say that this is one group. Now, if the total volume of water is 8,000 in just one group, right? What is the total volume of water? So one group is 400 plus 1,200, which is 1,600. Now we find how many groups are there such that it gives us a total of 8,000. So number of groups. 8,000 divide by 1,600. This will give us 5 groups, and since we're looking for the height of the water level in both tanks, and they are equal, so every one group, right, the height is 1, like 1 cm. So if there are 5 groups, then the final height will just be 5 times of that. Okay, 5 times 1 cm. So 5 cm. Please do not times 2 because the water level is actually the same for both. So you just need to use one of it. Okay, question number 11. This is on average. Table shows the scores of 4 students in a math test. Some of the scores are covered by an ink patch. So all these ones place are not shown. Average of Charles and Dominic is 80. Average of Aloysius, Benedict, and Charles is 74. What is the largest possible score that Benedict has achieved? Okay, so since they gave us average, let's find the total of C and D. So 80 times 2. They also gave us the average of A, B, and C. So we'll find the total, 74 times 3, which is 222. Now we actually know the score of Dominic, so we can minus this off from 160, and we end up with C. which is 78. So I know this is 78. A, B, and C is 2, 2, 2. So let's take away C so that we only have to work with A and B. Which is 144. Now A and B is 60 something and 80 something. 60 something plus 80 something gives us 144. Largest possible score that Benedict has achieved. Okay, Benedict is 80 something. So what is the largest? We want this to be the largest possible, which means that A will have to be the smallest. Okay, one has to be the largest, one has to be the smallest. Now let's minus off the value of the tens place first. So 144 minus 60 and minus 80, you end up with just 4. So this 4 is going to be split between the two ones place, right? So how can you split this 4? So if you want 80 something to be the largest, then you can just put all 4 here and then the other one will be 0. Okay, so we split 4 and 0. 4 will be the ones place for B. Then 0 will be the ones place for A. So what is the largest for B? 84. Okay, so answer is 84. Question 12. Peter had some stickers. He gave half of them an additional 60 stickers to Samuel. Next, he gave half of the remainder, an additional 30 to Troy. He then gave 40 to each of his 3 siblings and had 100 left. So how many stickers did Peter have at first? Okay, so let's use the model. First, he gave half, an additional 60. Okay, let's cut out 60. This is to Samuel. Now for the remainder, let's redraw the remainder. He gave half an additional 30. Okay, so 30 to Troy. Then the rest will be 40 each to 3 siblings and also 100. So 40 times 3. Then we add 100. So this is 220. So half of the remainder is 220 plus 30. So if you draw your model properly, it should actually be quite easy to see. So 250 times 2 is 500. 500 is the remainder. Okay, so here 500. Half of the total, 500 plus 60. Total, 560 times 2. So total at first is 1,120. Question 13. There were 400 adults attending a concert in a stadium. During the break, 1/3 of the men and 3/5 of the women left the stadium. 224 adults remained in the stadium. So how many women were there in the stadium at first? Okay, so first, let's do before, change after, starting with total. So the total is 400 men, 1/3 left. So 1/3, because this is a proportion transfer, you have to do your BCA below, before, change after. So if you're taking away 1/3, it means that you start off with 3 units, you take away 1 unit, and you're left with 2 units. For the women, you're taking away 3/5. So if you take away 3/5, then it means that you start off with 5 units minus of 3 units. Oops, and you'll have left with 2 units. And your total in the end is 224. Now, whenever you have more than one set of ratio, we have to always find common base, right? So according to the question, they didn't mention that men and women at first are the same. They didn't mention that men and women in the end are the same. So please do not be mistaken. If you see a 2 and 2 here, doesn't mean that they are equal. Question did not say that. Okay, so the change, is it equal? No mention. So we cannot assume that that the before is equal or the at the end is equal or the change is equal. Okay, none of it. So if there's no common base, we'll use units and parts. So for the first set of ratio, we'll name it units. For the second set of ratio, we'll name it parts. So now we form 2 equations using the total at first. 400, right? 400 is the sum of 3u and 5p. So 3u plus 5p equals to 400. Now the other one is using the other value, which is 224. 224 is the total in the end, which is 2 units and 2 parts. So 2u plus 2p is 224. Okay, the question, to make it more efficient, we look at the question, what they're asking for. They're asking for women. So we need to look for parts. So what you can do to make it easier or faster to find parts, right? You make units the same. If you want to find units, you make parts the same. Okay, so in this case, you want to find parts. So we make units the same. So common multiple of 3 and 2, which is 6, right? So this one, we have 2 times 2. This one, to make it 6 units, we have 2 times 3. So what we have from the first line is 6u plus 10 parts equals to 400 times 2, which is 800. So this is this one. Then the second one times 3, you get 6 units plus 6 parts equals to 672. This one. Compare them, find what is the difference. There is a difference of 4 parts. So 4 parts is actually 800 minus 672, which is 128. So 1 part is 128 divided by 4. 32. Back to the question, how many women were there in the stadium at first? Stadium at first for women is 5 parts. So we find 5 parts. 32 times 5, which is 160. Okay, so there are 160 women in the stadium at first. Question 14. In the figure, a rectangular piece of paper is folded twice. So we have GDA 36. GDA, okay, this is 36 degrees. And we have ADE, 10 degrees. Okay, this is 10. Find DAF. DAF, okay, the first marked angle. And then part B is the second marked angle. DAF. Okay, DAF is the same because this is folded, right? So this is the same as this. And to find GAD, this is right angle. Look at this triangle. Look at triangle GAD. Can you find angle GAD? So you take 180 minus 90 minus 36. Okay, so angle DAF, which is the same as GAD. So 180 minus 90 minus 36. So we have 54 degrees. Okay, so 54 degrees is this part. Now next is DFE. DFE, this angle over here. Okay, so first let's look at angle EDF. How do we find angle EDF? Now, if I were to unfold it once, it will look something like that. Right? So this 10 is actually the same. Sorry, not a 10, but this 36 is actually this whole thing here. Okay, I use another color. 36 is this whole thing here. Okay, so this, because let me redraw this. Okay. So this 36 here is actually the same as this part here. When you unfold it, it will be the same as this, right? So when you fold, it becomes 36. So this 36 will minus 10. And then you have two angles here. They are the same because when you fold and unfold, it's the same. So 36 minus 10 divide by 2. That is to find angle EDF. EDF here. 13. Now take note, where did angle this angle here, where did it come from? Okay, this came from here, right? And this actually came from this corner. So actually DEF is right angle. So now we can find DFE. DFE using this triangle here, 180 minus the 90 and 13. And we get 77 degrees. All right, quite not your typical folding paper kind of question, because this is double folded. So you need to visualize for this. Okay, let's look at next one. Question 15. Question 15. In the morning, Mrs. Chen baked muffins of 3 different flavors, chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. The ratio of the number of chocolate muffins to the number of strawberry muffins was 3:5. There were 28 more strawberry muffins than chocolate muffins. There were 10 more vanilla muffins than strawberry muffins. So for part A, how many vanilla muffins did she bake in the morning? Okay, so let's record down the information given first. There are 3 different types of flavors: chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. We have the ratio of chocolate to strawberry. So chocolate to strawberry is 3:5. Then there were 28 more strawberry muffins, 10 more vanilla muffins, and strawberry muffins. So for that, we'll draw a model. So C as, can I draw like what we have in the ratio. 3 units for C, 5 units for S. Okay, so the difference, there are 28 more strawberry than chocolate muffins. So this will be 28. And as you can see, we already have 2 units. What about vanilla? Vanilla is 10 more than strawberry muffins. So you definitely have 5 units. And we have to add a 10. Okay, so other than the 10, everything else are units. So 2 units is 28. 1 unit is 28 divided by 2, which is 14. To find vanilla, we need 5 units. Which is 70. Then you add a 10. Okay, so sorry, 80, not 50. So the number of vanilla muffins will be 80. That's for part A. Now part B, in the afternoon, she baked some more chocolate and vanilla muffins. Total number of chocolate and vanilla muffins became thrice the number of strawberry muffins. Percentage increase of the chocolate muffins was between 8% to 10%. How many vanilla muffins did she bake in the afternoon? Now take note, this increase doesn't mean that between 8 and 10 is 9%. Because it can be a decimal like 8.6, 8.7, 8.925 or anything between 8 and 10%. So first, we're looking at chocolate and muffins. The number of chocolate and muffins increased, right? So let's find out exactly how many are there for each different flavor. We already have vanilla. So for chocolate is 3 units, which is 42. Then we have strawberry muffins, which is your 5 units, and we have already found that 70. And lastly, your vanilla, which is from part A, 80. Okay, so this is at first. Then there's a change for chocolate and vanilla. In the end, chocolate and vanilla became thrice of strawberry. So 3 to 1. Now we know that the number of strawberry muffins did not change. Okay, so the strawberry muffins, which is this 1 unit here, is actually 70. So this is 70. So the number of chocolate and vanilla in the end will be 70 times 3. 210. Now, then they also said that, okay, so 210 is actually the total of chocolate and vanilla in the end, right? But we don't know how many was it increased by for each of the different flavors. Now, let's look at chocolate and look at the percentage increase. It's between 8% and 10%. So let's find out what is 8%. And then we find out what is 10%. So we find the range for which the number of chocolate muffins can be increased by. So 8% is 8 over 100 times 42, because chocolate at first is 42. So you can key the calculator. This should give us 3.36. And then if we find 10% of 42, this will give us 4.2. So the number of the increase in the muffins has to be a whole number, right? So the only whole number we have between 3.36 and 4.2 is 4. So the increase in chocolate muffins has to be 4. which means that the number of vanilla muffins in the end will be this total minus off the chocolate at first and the increase in chocolate. Okay, so the chocolate in the end, okay, C in the end will be 42 plus 4, which is 46. Then we take total in the end 210 minus 46, which is 164. So how many did she bake in the afternoon, which is like the increase in the vanilla muffins? Now you see the vanilla muffins at first is 80, right? So 164 minus 80 will give you the number of vanilla muffins that were baked in the afternoon. Okay, so answer is 84. Question 16. Figure shows a circle and 6 identical quarter circles. Radius of each quarter circle is 8 cm, so that's 8. So xy passes through the center of the circle. Xy is the diameter of the big circle. So find the area of the shaded part. Now, the area of the shaded part will be the area of the big circle minus of 6 quadrants. So let's find the area of the big circle first. To find the area of the big circle, we will have to find the radius. Radius of big circle, which is 8 times 3, and divide by 2, which is 12. So we take pi 3.14 times radius, which is 452.16. Now let's find the area of one quadrant. So pi times 8 times 8 times 1/4, 50.24. Then the shaded area will be the whole circle, 452.16, minus of 6 times of the quadrants, because there are 6 quadrants. So this will be 150.72. Okay, so 150.72 square cm is the shaded area. Next, find the perimeter of the shaded part. Okay, so the perimeter of the shaded part definitely includes the circumference of the big circle. Now, to find perimeter, don't minus, okay? We are finding the sum of all the sides of the outline. So the big circle is what we have, and the perimeter also includes the arcs. Okay, arcs of all the quadrants, as well as 2 straight lines. 2 of the radius of the small quadrant. Okay, so first, let's find the circumference of the big circle first. So diameter, we need diameter if we want to find the circumference. Diameter of a big circle. Which is 8 times 3, 24. Then pi times diameter. So pi times 24. 75.36. Okay, I'm gonna highlight to show you where we have added. So this is the circumference of the big one. Next, we'll look at the arcs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 of them. Diameter of the quadrant. Radius was 8. So diameter is 8 times 2. So to find quadrant will be pi times 16 times 1/4. Twelve 12.56. Then we want 6 of them. So 12.56 times 6, which is 75.36. So this is the green one, which is all the 6 arcs of the quadrant. Now we're left with the 2 straight lines. Now we add the 2 straight lines. So 75.36 plus 75.36, 2 straight lines. Will be 8 and 8. Okay, so 8, 8. 166.72. Answer 166.72 cm. Okay, last question. Question 17. In June, Mr. Tan saved 20% of his salary. In July, his monthly salary increased by $600, and he saved 15% of his new monthly salary. Given that Mr. Tan saved the same amount of money in both months, find the percentage increase in Mr. Tan's salary. Okay, so take note of this. Save the same amount in both months. So the first month, right, June, he saved 20%. In the second month, he saved 15%. So 20%, which is 20 over 100, of the original is actually the same, because that's his savings, is actually the same as 15% of the new salary. Because according to the question, what he saved in both months is the same. Okay, so that's why I can derive this equivalent proportion. Okay, let's simplify first to make it easier. 1/5 of the original is the same as 3 over 20 of the new salary. In equivalent proportion, like what we have here, we have to make numerator the same. Okay, so this is 3 over 15 of the original is the same as 3 over 20 of the new salary. Because it's like saying 3 units of the original is the same as 3 units of the new one, right? So once you make that comparison the same, right? Then what we can tell is that the original salary is actually 15 units. Original salary, not original savings, original salary to the new salary. Let me write this again. So 15 to 20. Don't simplify here. I'm just going to use 15 and 20 because we may need to use the 3 units. We're not sure, right? So in some questions we use that, some questions we may not. But once you have 15 and 20, because that's the denominator, we don't simplify here yet. Okay. So 15, 20, 600 is the increase in salary. So the salary difference is 5 units. So 5 units is 600. All right, so 1 unit will be 600 divided by 5, which is, oops, sorry, we don't need to find that actually. We just need to find the percentage increase. Percentage increase, what is the increase? Increase over original. Okay, so this is the increase, 5 units. Increase over original times 100%. So we can actually use the units to help us find the answer. and then leave it as mixed number. We don't even need to use the 600 in this question. Okay, so answer is 33 and 1/3%. Alternatively, this is using ratio. So using ratio, if you're more comfortable with using ratio, then the old savings to the old as in original salary, he saved 20%. So 20 to 100. 1 to 5 when you simplify. Then the new savings to the new salary is 15 to 100, plus 15%, 3 to 20. Then the amount saved is the same, so we have to make it the same. This is 3 units. Same. So from here, it's the same thing. Increase in salary will be the same as the steps above lah. Okay, so 5 units. 5 out of the original, then times 100%. You get the same answer. Okay, so it's either you present it like that using fraction, equivalent, proportion, or using ratio. Okay, so with that, that's the end for Marie Stella Prelim paper for 2023, paper 2.